Yep, it's true what you've heard. There are some strange side effects to jumping into a keto or low carb and or intermittent fasting way of life. Fortunately, most of those side effects are short-lived and I lived through them, so I'm here to share with you 5 things that I dealt with and how I managed those side effects. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Christine of Joyful Keto Life, and you are watching my show 5 on Fridays. Why Fridays? I know Fridays can be hard. I'm here to inspire, motivate, and encourage you to stick with your health goals for the weekend and beyond. Before we get started, just a reminder, I am not a doctor, I am not a healthcare provider, I am just a girl who was blessed to finally discover, after 30 years of chronic diet failures, finally discover a way of eating that worked to heal my metabolic health. And in the process, I've lost over 100 pounds, and I've maintained that weight loss for over a year and a half now by following a ketogenic and intermittent fasting way of life. My channel exists for anyone in the spectrum of any state of ketosis, anyone that wants to regain their health by kicking the carb addiction to the curb. Let's get started. The first one being hair loss, which is what prompted the subject of this video. About 2 years ago, 6 months into my keto journey, I started losing hair like crazy. When I came out of the shower, there would be hair all over my palm, lots of hair in the drain. At the time, I had longer hair. After a lot of research and discussing what was happening with my doctor, I started supplementing with biotin, and I also supplemented with collagen peptides. This is the brand of collagen peptides that my doctor recommends for my keto lifestyle. In my experience, the hair loss was very temporary. I would guess it lasted about 5 to 6 months. There is a technical term for this, telogen effluvium. I'm going to put a link below to a great article and resource on the Diet Doctor website that will explain this in more detail. Basically what's happening is any big change in diet like we're making when we go into a state of ketosis is going to shock your system and could potentially cause hair loss. This same thing happened to me after I had both of my children. So although it was a bit concerning and I felt like I was losing a lot of hair, I knew it was temporary, and I knew immediately I had new hair growth because my hairstylist was telling me that every time I saw her every 5 weeks. For what it's worth, my anecdotal experience confirms that this was temporary for me. All right, the second strange thing that I experienced, probably also about the time that my hair started falling out, because my stomach started shrinking a lot because of the fat loss, I had the itchiest skin on my abdomen. I would have thought this was keto rash, but reading through all of the literature I found on it, I didn't have any of the same type of symptoms besides the itch. I didn't have a visible rash, I just had extreme itching. If it wasn't keto rash, what was it? I honestly have no idea. My best guess is because I was over 100 pounds overweight, I had a lot of stretch marks on my stomach, and I believe that the itching was my stretch marks healing. With little to go on, the only solution I came up with was to use coconut oil. So I slathered that all over my abdomen. Every night I went to bed, I smelled like a pina colada, but hey, it helped stop the itch. Coconut oil seems to work for a lot of things, doesn't it? What do you use coconut oil for? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see some other uses for this amazing natural product. All right, the third thing, my friend's gonna kill me for sharing this, but maybe she won't even watch, so I'm gonna share anyhow. I got a text message from a friend the other day, and she texted me and said, I have to read it. My son is doing keto. When will his breath stop smelling so bad? Good Lord. He was in my car and I had to open my windows. That text made me laugh so hard because, yeah, I've been there, done that. She said, when? It's so gross. His coworkers are probably dying. So I had to give my friend my best tip for keto breath. A few months after I slipped into ketosis, I happened to be at an outdoor art festival and I ran into a man that sells peppermint oil. I was chatting with him for a bit and he was telling me the many benefits and many uses of peppermint oil, and he said freshens breath. And I was like, oh, yes, I need that. I need to freshen my keto breath. And that's what I do now. I always keep a vial of food grade peppermint oil in my purse and just a little swipe on the tongue. Let me go get my peppermint oil. Be right back. All right, here's my peppermint oil. I get it from Peppermint Jim. You can find him at peppermintjim.com, and I believe he ships all over the United States, so check him out. Seriously, this is like amazing fix for keto breath. Woo! So refreshing. And another tip, you can use this if you are having a stressful day at work. Just put a little bit on your neck and oh man, it's so awesome. I could just sit at my desk for another 8 hours if I needed to. Anyhow, Peppermint Jim, check him out. All right, the fourth weird thing that happened to me, especially the first couple months I was living in a state of ketosis, is I had some crazy, wild dreams and some crazy lack of sleep. There is some talk that fasting may interrupt your sleep. I know Dr. Fung talks about this, and I'll post a link down there of a question that I saw he answered on Diet Doctor. But I just wanted to share real briefly in my personal experience. The wild dreams stopped probably after about 2 months of being in ketosis. And the sleep, I go to sleep now when I am tired. Once I've hit a brick wall, I go to sleep. Some nights I might only get 4 hours of sleep. Other nights I get 8 hours of sleep. But the thing about being a fat burner and living in a state of ketosis, I always have energy throughout the day. My ketones are fueling me. I never feel tired. I never feel that afternoon slump. Now, for the most part, I generally get a solid 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Sleep is important, so we will talk about this in an upcoming video. The fifth side effect that I experienced as I was starting out my keto journey was crazy leg cramps and Charlie horses during the night. Of course, it didn't take very long to figure that out because of the community that is ever so helpful in teaching everybody about how to make sure to keep your electrolytes in balance. I was deficient in magnesium, so that was my first fix. As you know, I'm not a doctor, so I have lots of great reference books. This is a new one, The Longevity Solution by Dr. James DiNicolantonio. I can't say that name. And my favorite, Dr. Jason Fung. So, of course, I put a lot of stock in the information in this book. So I want to share with you a little bit about what they say about magnesium. On page 162, is magnesium deficiency common? Magnesium deficiency affects at least 20 to 30% of the general population and can cause heart arrhythmias, muscle spasms, and muscle cramps. Yep. Magnesium deficiency is common and a serious public health problem, and it can lead to potassium and calcium deficiency. Salt depletion depletes the body of other healthy minerals such as magnesium, calcium, and potassium. In other words, you should consider sodium to be the master controller when it comes to the minerals in your body because it controls your magnesium status, which controls potassium and calcium. You can see the importance of balancing your electrolytes, especially sodium, magnesium, and potassium. So what did I do with that information? I take a daily recommended dose of magnesium supplement. I take magnesium glycinate. It's 2 tablets daily for my recommended dose. I was taking them both in the morning with my supplements. And then I was still getting leg cramps. So what I ended up doing is taking 1 magnesium supplement pill in the morning and 1 right before bed. And that completely eliminated my nighttime horrifying Charlie horses. Well, considering those 5 strange side effects that I've experienced, I really want to encourage you to work with a doctor. My functional medicine MD orders a lot of blood tests. We are tracking a lot of things. And in fact, I just got a bunch of blood test results back this week because I'll be seeing her next week. So I will do another video this month and go over everything that I am tracking in my blood work. I'll share that with you so you have some kind of idea of what you might be able to ask your doctor for too. Well, I hope that helped, especially if you're new to keto or low carb living. Hang on to your hat. Some of these side effects are really strange, but I guarantee once you get past them, they are so worth it. One more bit of inspiration before we go. I just stumbled upon this verse again and I love it so much. Ecclesiastes 9:7. Go, eat your food with gladness and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for it is now that God favors what you do. Amen to that. I hope you all have a very lovely Independence Day weekend. I'll catch you next week. Let's talk about blood markers and labs to discuss with your doctor. And as always, choose joy. Don't forget, before you go, if you are not a subscriber yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button in the corner and click the bell so you'll be the first to be notified when my videos show up on Fridays. Oh, one more thing. This is not a strange keto side effect. I have a torn rotator cuff. Working on healing it. Not a keto side effect though.